My name is Anefiok Nene Yudoxiokafor. Everybody knows me as Annie because a lot of people cannot pronounce Anefiok. And actually the Annie started in my primary 6. It was given to me by my primary 6 teacher and it has come to stay. I was born on May 4, 1971. I attended Urban Primary School, Ikotekpe, Akwa Ibom State. I attended Primary School, Barracks Road, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. From there, I went on to Federal Government Girls College, Calabar, and then to Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. So at 50, it's a brand new feeling. It's a mixed feeling that I really cannot put a word to it. I'm excited, I'm happy, it's just nostalgic. It's a combination of so many feelings, and I just thank God that I have reached the age of 50. Because in those days, when you were small, when you see people at 40, 50, you look at them like, wow, when will I get there? And finally, I'm there. I give God thanks. The best thing that has ever happened to me, there are so many, I can't begin to count all of them. But I think the foremost is the salvation of my soul. And the 3 F's that God has given me: my children, fortune, favor, flourish. And then my very 2 special other children, Ogoluwa and Damilola. Those are beautiful things that have happened to me in my life that I don't take for granted. And of course, that will not finish if I don't mention my siblings. They have been my backbones through the years. And I'm blessed to have them as my siblings, Barrister Mrs. Emma Odonsek and Dr. Mrs. Enoidion. I really thank God for them. Well, things I never understood before. There are so many, but I'll only focus on parenthood or parenting. I remember in those days when I was young, my mother would say some things and I'll be like, gosh, what is this woman talking about? And sometimes she will be telling us, now I'm talking and people are laughing at me, you are calling me names. Don't worry, when you get to my level, you will know. And well, today I've reached her level and indeed, I know. Those things that she used to say, you will know when you get there. Now I know them. And at times when I look at my children, I also make the same statements. When you get to my level, you will know. And I know when they get to this level, they too will know. So parenting is one thing that I never understood then while growing up as a child, which now I understand better. Some advice my mother would give us then or my father would give us then, and we just look at those things as they don't make sense. Nowadays, I have to go back to some of those words, and have helped me to be who I am today. My best friend in secondary school. I don't want to offend people. So well, let me apologize in advance for those that will watch this video. If you didn't hear your name, please don't be angry. There were so many. In fact, my secondary school was a memorable place, and it's still a memorable place in my life. I had people I would call sisters, not just friends. Friends that eventually became sisters. People like Hannah. People like my 4, you know, we were 4 of us, myself, UD, another UD, and Eno. Four of us were very, very close throughout. We were all in the same dormitory. And then I had this friend too. She was my senior sister's school daughter, EJJ. She was very nice to me. We were very, very close. I think virtually all my classmates while we were in school, especially those of us in the A class, we were like too close. So they were all very wonderful. But the few that I've mentioned, and even some others, which I may not be able to mention now, I could say they were my best friends. When I got into school, my principal then, Mrs. Abasiatai of blessed memory, she was a wonderful woman. She was a mother indeed to almost 1,000 students. She was always there for us, and she managed us very, very well. I remember my vice principal academic, who till today is still my friend. I still visit him once in a while, and funny enough, he's just from Eduabon here. So whenever he's around, I go to his house, I visit him, and we play and pray together. And today he's a venerable in the Anglican Communion, Venerable Oyetola Something. The something is not his name. The something was given to him by himself through his students. Because when we were in school, he knew everybody's name. He knew your 3 names. I don't know how he did it. And he will sight you from a distance where you are not supposed to be. And you just hear, what is that your name again? And if you're called something. And so all of us now started calling him Oyetola Something, because he will not stop calling your name without adding something at the end. He was such a wonderful and caring man. I remember my girl guides mistress of blessed memory again, the late Mrs. Udombat. This woman was an epitome of humility. She was an epitome of meekness, and she succeeded in transferring that into so many of us. She was a beautiful woman, a very beautiful woman. There are so many of them. I can't begin to count or mention their names. I remember Mrs. Bassi, who just passed on a few weeks ago. I remember Mrs. Ene. These 2 ladies and Professor Uwe, 3 of them, each time they came to school, you would just be looking at them. The way they dress, I mean, like, everybody, we all made them our model for dressing. And funny enough, so many of us today tend to dress based on what we saw them do. They were always on point when it comes to dressing. Their courage, the way they will speak like a lady. They will tell you, ladies don't cross gutter. So no matter where you are going, you must go and get to the end of the gutter, or where there's a place for you to cross. You can never cross gutter. And these women instilled all these virtues in us, and I'm grateful for them. I'm grateful that God gave them to us. I remember one of our principals or vice principals, Madam Bassi, Ms. Bassi. I think she was the principal as at the time we graduated from Fegocal. The woman was an epitome of discipline, no nonsense woman. And she instilled that discipline in us. And I thank God for all these teachers. Of course, we had some very funny ones, which I will not mention their names. But to us, we know what we thought about them. And I must not fail to mention my beloved sports master, who taught us how to do sports even against our wish. There was a time he brought a signpost. If you want to be beautiful, run. If you want to be intelligent, run. If you want to be healthy, run. If you want to be, I think there were 5 points there, run. And we were like, what's this man's problem? He will wake us up 4:35. We'll go jogging. inside Calabar town. We jog by the time we come back. But I thank God today, those of us that didn't like him, a lot of students then hated him, but I didn't hate him because I loved sports. Some of us are paying today to do the same thing he was trying to groom us to do back then. I know some of my mates that paid to run a marathon. I remember some 4 or 5 years ago, I also paid to run 1 or 2 marathons. I really thank God for his life. He was a good man, and he's still a good man. I think my teachers were lovely. I had the best of teachers. I loved all my teachers. Even the ones I never loved their subjects, but I loved them. And I thank God that they taught me. Oh, the most memorable day of my life. Initially, I used to think the most memorable day of my life was my wedding day. But I think the day I held my first baby happens to be my most memorable day. It was an entirely new experience, holding something or someone that came out of you, looking at a fragile being in your hand, and you're just like, wow, where was this one? How did this one come out? How am I going to groom this one? It brought a whole new feeling, a whole new level of responsibility to my life. So I think I could say that is one of my most memorable days in life. If the hand of time were to be turned back, I think one of the things I would like to correct about myself is that I would stubbornly, against my parents' wish, go into sports full-time. I'd always wanted to be an athlete full-time, and to my parents, no, that was not it. If the hand of time were to be turned back, I would go back to being an athlete. I had always dreamt of representing Nigeria in international sports competitions, but that dream was cut short. And really, I don't blame them, because at that time, athletes really did not have anything to show for it, unlike what we have now. So they probably thought if I had told that line, I wouldn't have anything to show for in life. I'll just live a wasted life. But really, if I were to turn back the hand of time, I would very seriously love to go back to full-time sports. And of course, dancing was another thing I had always wanted to do. But like I said, just like sports, my parents felt I wasn't serious. How can a child that has been well groomed want to be an athlete and a dancer? And I had to give that up. If I had the opportunity to travel out, I want to tour the whole world, all the countries in the world, all the big countries, all the small countries, all the ones that people don't know about, all the ones that people know about. I want to go everywhere. I want to see what the whole world looks like. I love traveling, and I want to see everywhere. 3 wishes. Well, I'll rather say 3 requests from God, not just 3 wishes. And that would be, number 1, to know him more and be closer to him, to be a vessel in his hand. Number 2, that my children would fulfill destiny. And then number 3, I want to live a good life from 50. I want to live a more fulfilling, a more relaxed life. The advice I would give to my children: number 1, hold fast to God. And I thank God thus far, God has been helping us in that aspect. Hold fast to God. Let him be your all in all. Let him be your source in whatever you want to do. Always seek his face and let him guide you and follow his leading. And then number 2, pursue your vision. Be focused in whatever you set your mind to do in life. You can achieve it only if you are focused. Avoid distractions, because these days there are a lot of distractions on the youth, and sincerely the society these days is very tough for our youth, unlike when we were growing up, that things were calm, things were easy. But these days you see the economic environment is tough, the sociological environment is tough, everywhere the academic environment is tough, and the youths have to do all manner of things in order to survive, and some of them, and in the process most of them end up living their future today, and they end up, if I may say, shortchanging their lives. So I'll advise my children, take it one step at a time. Don't be too much in a hurry to make money, because that seems to be the rave of the day now. Don't be too much in a hurry to make money. Everything has a time, everything has a season. So wait for your time, do what you're supposed to do now, and let other things follow. My advice to women facing challenges in their marriages, well, to start with, there's no marriage that is perfect. Every marriage has its own challenge. What may be a challenge to one marriage may not be a challenge to the other marriage. So don't see your own marriage as being the worst, or don't see your own marriage as not working. Don't compare your marriage with another person's marriage. That's very, very important, and that's one mistake that a lot of us women make. Don't compare your marriage with another person. Look for a couple that you feel you can share with. Look for a friend you feel you can share your feelings, you can share your pains with. Someone that can give you good advice, not someone that will lead you astray. You can look out for marriages that have stood the test of time and make them like your model. Seek advice once in a while where necessary, but avoid bringing third party as much as possible into your marriages. And above all, most challenges in marriages can be settled on your knees between you and God. So always make God your focus. Ask him for help. Even when it comes to seeking advice from people, always ask God first. Let him direct you to the person that you can actually go to for advice or for admonition. At 50, I hope for a better life. I hope for a relaxed life. I hope for a closer walk with God. I hope for seeing my children graduate from school in the next few years. I hope for ease, that God will bring me to my ease. God will bring me to my jubilee. That's what I hope for at 50. I want to use this opportunity to say a big thank you to my father. This man refused us to call him daddy. He said we should call him papa. And every time you call him daddy, he will just make one face for you like this. And so we all grew up to call him papa. Our children call him papa. Papa's a song of Menam Tutu. Now for kick baby, how you brought us up. And I'm gonna need you on a song of a. I'm happy to be your daughter. I'm happy that you are my father. if the world were to be recreated again, I'll still choose you if possible as my father. I thank God for my sister Sekama, Coco. These two people. Let me not talk about them. Let me not talk about them. You are the best. My senior sister, she's just the best. I don't have more than one. Ever since our mommy passed on, you stepped in, you became mother, not just to us, your siblings, you became mother to our children. Thank you very much. Auntie Coco, as my children call you. Everybody now wants to make you their role model. Nobody wants to make me role model. Oshe, you see your life. See what you have caused. It's okay. I will not talk. For the younger. My children, biological, my children, non-biological. I cannot begin to count names. There are too many. Because if I start counting names now, and they see this video, now wahala go shele. My nephews, my nieces, I thank everybody that has contributed to making me who I am. And it will be very unfair for me to end this without thanking somebody that is very special. When I got the first call, I was like, wow, from where to where, what happened? I don't understand. And he just called me one day, Mommy, we want to do a video for you. We want to do a song for your 50th birthday. And this is part of it. This is what we are doing now. We are still going to do the shoot for the song. He knows himself, and God knows him. And not just him, I want to say to the entire Yemi Afuye crew, Yemi Afuye world, I'm very, very grateful for this. I never expected it. This has been a very memorable time for me. In fact, it was and it's still a huge shock and surprise. I don't know what I did to merit this. But I want to pray that as you have honored me, God himself will honor you back in multiple folds in the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you so much for this. I don't take it for granted. I appreciate you and I love you big time.